Hello YouTube! So this has been a pretty exciting week for those of you that use Parsec or have been keeping an eye on Parsec. They released a brand new client for the PC, and I'm here to show it to you today and give it a little review and just kind of demonstrate some of the features and let you guys know what's changed and what's better and things like that. So without further ado, if you look at your screen, you are looking at that new client. And right away you'll notice that aesthetically it does look a lot better. The devs mentioned that they're using the same technology that is used with Discord. It's scalable. It works across operating systems, so it should keep the look similar, no matter where you go to enjoy Parsec. And just looking at it, it looks really good. And starting off, it opens up on the play screen after you log into it. So you see I've got one computer logged into it at the moment. And we'll just kind of go through this, go through settings, go through the features, and I'll just give a little bit of an overview and talk about what I think about some of these things. So one thing right off the bat that makes this client stand above the previous one is that you've got a working friends tab right here in the client itself. So if you click on it, you see I've got somebody listed, you can add people, and it's pretty awesome. The other thing that's really cool is when you go to the play tab, you'll see that you have a button to send somebody a Parsec link from right within the client itself. In the past, if you wanted to do this, you had to go to the website and you had to send them from the website. And so, in terms of just trying to keep everything together and keep it unified, this is a big improvement. So that's nice. Now, outside of this, when you look at this screen, you can manage the current computer that you're on. So it shows you settings for the client, shows you links that you might have sent out, and you can delete them or copy them. And this brings up something that I noticed. So before I was starting my stream, I considered renaming this computer and just calling it gaming PC. And you'll notice that if I try to do so just remove that and then save, you get an error that it won't let me do it. And I actually went back and tried to do the same thing from the website and got the same error. So for whatever reason, it won't let you make changes like that right now. So that's just something to keep in mind. We talked about the Friends tab. That's pretty basic. You can add somebody, you can click them, you can set their permission levels, you can remove them. So that's nice. It's nice to be able to manage that without leaving the client and going to the website. The last tab over here is the hosting tab. And if somebody was joined to the computer, you could kick them out from this tab. You could manage their connection, set a timer for how long they're allowed to be on, specify whether they can just view things or whether they can control something as well. So it's nice, again, to be able to control that from within the client. And just like before, that was something that used to only be manageable from the website. So it's nice to see them pulling everything together. Now, if you move over here, you've got a help button. That was in the last one. This takes you to the Parsec website to download the latest clients. This opens up their Discord and invites you to join their Discord room. And this opens up a brand new refreshed FAQ page, which is also really nice. So it's a little bit easier to navigate and highlights things that are important for people to know. Now up here, you can change your user settings, and like right here for profile, for example, you can update your avatar. So you can click on this and choose a different button. So like for example, I've got one on the computer that I potentially would want to use. So we can go into this and scroll down, and this is my preferred profile, and it should update right there, and that worked. So you see it updated up here on my picture as well. If you subscribe to Parsec, so like you're renting a cloud PC of some sort, you can update your information right here for that. And then this is the meat of it. This is where you adjust any settings for the stream itself. And the screen, like the interface, looks the same. The options are largely the same as what we had before in the old client with a couple little tweaks. So one tweak, for example, is that the decoder mode used to say hardware or software, so now they've replaced hardware with accelerated, but that's still the hardware mode. And they used to have, when you go to video quality, they used to have it divided up where you could choose your video quality for LAN, for local networks, or for WAN, for the internet. And now it's divided, just across the board, so you're changing it based on what you're doing at that moment. I'm not sure that I like that. It's nice to be able to divide it up, because sometimes, like for just to give an example, my LAN is super quick. So when I'm playing at home, I can throw all the settings pretty much on their highest levels and have it still be really smooth and have low latency. Now, when I go outside my LAN, go across the internet and maybe go play at a friend's house or something, that's a little different. My upload speed is kind of the bottleneck in that situation, and I probably can't get away with highest definition. I want lowest latency because I'm connecting across the internet, and so I'm not sure that I like that change, and we'll see. We'll have to play with it in real use and just see how that ends up working out. And outside of that, everything is largely the same. So you still have the overlay button, still have the immersive mode, still can choose your modes and your VSync. And then over here, you've got a button to open up your advanced settings. This is similar to what we had before, where you can actually go in and instead of having an interface like this, you can add things and change things via text. And that's pretty nice as well. And in a nutshell, that's basically it. So things are just done through the client. And so the focus of this update, from what the developers described, was to bring the features that were website exclusive, bring them into the client itself so that things had more parity. And it was just to create an aesthetic that was nice to look at and was scalable and that just worked across platforms and was really simple. So another cool thing, like they mentioned, is that with the way that they've done this, they can push updates to the client itself. So they can release updates and add features really easily, so the deployment's a lot faster and simpler. Now, something I didn't see, and I'm guessing that's largely because of what I just said, where things are scalable and they can push things. In old clients, there were buttons where you could turn on the option to beta test, and I don't see that anywhere on the new client. So it looks like they might have removed that feature, so they don't necessarily want everybody freely testing a new product, or maybe there isn't going to be a new one. Maybe they're just going to continue pushing to this, but that's something that's different. Now, in terms of like little glitches and things that have been fixed, on the old client, one of the things that I struggled with is that my main gaming PC has a 4K screen. So, outside of streaming, I normally just leave that on 4K for the best quality and clarity. And what would happen is that my clients, my Surface Pro that I use is 1080p. So when I would stream, the initial session would connect. It would downscale the gaming computer to 1080p to match, so it changed the resolution. And that session would be fine. But as soon as you ended the session, the client on the host computer, on the gaming computer, would crash. So if you were on just the client and you tried to reconnect to do another thing, it wouldn't let you because that client on the big machine had crashed when it tried to revert the resolution from 1080p back up to 4K. And that was kind of annoying. My workaround for that was to leave the gaming computer on 1080p as well, so that when you played a session, the resolutions were exactly the same, and that prevented the crashing. But that's not cool. That's not very smooth, and it means that I'm leaving my computer on a setting that's not necessarily the best looking setting for other things. So I'm really happy that they fixed that. So now I can leave this computer on 4K. I can connect from the 1080p machine, and when that session finishes, the host computer reverts back to 4K, and it looks just as good. And there's no crashing anymore. So that's something that I personally appreciate. Something that I was hoping for that's not here yet is that the devs have mentioned in their Discord chat that in the future they do plan to add some sort of option to settings that will allow you to open up an app on your gaming PC once a session is established. So when you start streaming from the client. And what that does is it allows you to open up something like Steam Big Picture or Big Box and have that open automatically once a session is established. And that's great for people that play just with a controller. It gives you a way to have a controller-friendly interface just pop up as soon as a session starts. And that didn't make it into this build, and I'm hoping that that comes soon. And just as a note for people that really did enjoy doing things through the website still does work. It still gives you the same functionality. You can pull up a very similar looking interface just by going to parsec.tv and logging in. So if you'd rather not do things through the client, you're still welcome to do most things through the website itself. And for me, one thing that I use as a little trick, so let's say that I've got my Surface Pro 2 docked into my TV and I'm streaming, so I'm just using a controller, so I'm not actually using any sort of keyboard and mouse. If I want to, I can jump on my smartphone, I can pull up the Parsec website, and I can send people links. So I can go, I can create a share link on my phone. I can copy and I can paste it maybe into the Discord app on my phone to invite a friend to come play with me. And I can still do that. So I can still pull up that mobile website on the phone. I can still send invites from the phone without interrupting the session that I have going on. So that functionality is still in place, and I hope they keep it there. And that's basically it. In terms of actual streaming, it still works basically like it did before. And just to make a note, this is build 139-14, so that's where these things are introduced. If you already have the old Parsec client on your computer and you're thinking about upgrading, all you do is go to parsec.tv, go to their downloads tab, and download the latest version. You do not need to remove the old client before installing the new one. The installer is set up to automatically remove the instance of the old client. So that saves you a little bit of time just in case you were wondering. I mean, you're still welcome to remove it ahead of time, but the new client is set up to remove that for you automatically. And that's basically it. I think overall the changes are great. I love that things are unified. I still wish that I could go into my friends list and click on a friend and actually send them an invite. Just by choosing them from the friends list. That's kind of what we're used to on other platforms like the Xbox or whatnot. You go to your friends list and send them from there. It's nice that you can go up here and send them a request. That's cool. But I would have liked to have seen that added right here. But outside of that, I think this is a great step in the right direction, and I'm excited to see what they add to this in the future. And until next time, you guys enjoy Parsec, have fun with it. Let me know if you have any questions about using it in the comments. Take a look at my other videos. I go into more depth about using Parsec and about getting the most out of it. And if you are somebody that likes to use a controller, I've got tips and tricks and videos about using the controller with Parsec. So feel free to subscribe, feel free to like the videos, and until next time, you guys have fun.